Hey guys, just wanted to kind of, for my own benefit, run a quick update on all the projects that we've done. We've been here now, I think it's 7.5 years, and wanted to take a look at the projects that we've done. This room has been painted twice, once before we moved in, and you can see we still have some of the stencil work that Elizabeth did before we moved in, because this stencil work was in this room and then in those two rooms back there as well. And at that time, this room that you're looking at, which is now kitchen, was actually a dining room. This opening was, as it is, so we haven't changed that. But these walls have been painted originally, and then again later we darkened to a different green. We replaced the floor. This was carpeting, and it is now 16 by 16 tile. And we've put a TV in here, and other than that, this room is pretty much as it was. In here, we just finally finished painting this hallway for the first time. I think the downstairs portion was painted when we moved in, but we've changed the color. It's now kind of a lavender, and the ceiling is white. It may show up as something different in the video. Got our crosses hanging up here. Got our little cross collection, and this is just a portion of them. We've got more. Let's see, just finished doing the stairs, which I've got in a different video. Pulled the carpeting off of the stairs and put in bamboo. You can see the bamboo is about 4 inches wide. I don't know if that's showing up very well or not. I put in the bamboo treads and the risers and baseboard where needed. We've redone the bathroom actually twice. It was what originally happened was I had to take the ceiling out because I put a washer and dryer upstairs and had to put a drain pan underneath it. So at that time we remodeled the bathroom, and have another video where I show the painting that we did on the walls. But more recently had to tear the floor out because the toilet that we had, which is what was an Aquasource, which is the store brand for Lowe's, had a hairline crack, which apparently is pretty common in the Aquasource toilets, so stay away from them. But this time we put a marble countertop here, and a small cabinet that we got from the Restore, which is Habitat for Humanity's donation place, and they also sell new cabinets, and this was a new cabinet. Got this little sink, put this sink in, and put this tower water faucet in. This mirror still shows the painting from the previous incarnation here in the bathroom. So replaced the toilet, replaced the floor, and painted the walls, left the ceiling from the previous job in the bathroom. Okay, on to the kitchen. Now you can see right here that there is a return vent for the air conditioner. We've got 3 air conditioning units. There's also, I guess I need to move this, there's also an air conditioning unit, a return vent here. So we've got 2 return vents. And when I redid the kitchen, I added a 3rd vent, which you may or may not be able to see back here. So we've got a 3rd return vent. And this one really also helps keep the refrigerator cool, because the air conditioner in this room, the air conditioning now handles this room, the kitchen, and both bathrooms, the downstairs, and then there's a bathroom upstairs here. So that's all that this air conditioner does, and it's got a monstrous compressor. We just had to have, we've got the American Home Shield warranty, and they just had to replace the compressor in the downstairs unit. All right, so this opening, I told you this opening was as you see it, and we left it that way. But this opening, this was actually like a 30-inch sliding door, and so we pulled the door out and made this. Now it's about a 6-foot opening. I'll back off here and you can see it. It runs all the way to the other side right here. So it's now a 6-foot opening. And by taping and floating, I'm real impatient. I don't do as good a job of taping and floating as I might ought to, but it's done and it's painted. So we completely gutted. There was actually a wall right about here, right about where that emergency light is that I installed. And it ran over to here. Trash can out of the way. So there was a wall here, and so what we did was we put in I guess it's a little bit further over. It was about here. We put in a 3 2x12s and bolted them together. And so that's a beam that is actually holding up a portion of the upstairs. And then across here, this is a 6x6 that is surrounded here. But I've got two 6x6s over there, and then two 4x6s in this little wall here. This little wall is support wall. So now there's four 22-foot 2x12s, correction, yeah, 2x12s, four 2x12s, 22 feet long, running across this opening, and that holds the entire north wall of the upstairs up. Let's see what else. Okay, so you can see the drop vent hood here. Installed that, and I ran the vent from that up in the ceiling, over and out, about through the wall up here, and then you can barely see this pipe right here. That's actually a gas pipe. The house is not, the whole neighborhood does not have gas, but I have installed a gas line should we ever have the opportunity to put gas in, and then it comes down inside the surround on the post here. I also ran water. You can see I've got a pot filler right here. Awesome little thing. You don't have to carry pots back and forth to the sink. And then we did a travertine countertop. Granite was just beyond our budget. So we did a travertine countertop. These are 16 by 16 tiles. We hand-picked every tile, and you can't see very many of them right now. So we've got travertine countertop here, which is 13 feet long, and then Kathy found these tiles for the backsplash, and we got those at the Restore. And so now let me back up. The kitchen used to be this little area over here, and there was a 2-foot closet right here, which is now an open space, and that was where it was a pantry, and we eventually had brooms and stuff in there. But then there was a counter that ran along here, which came to about right here, and then we had the refrigerator here. These are some shelves that I built, and I'll show you the hallway in a minute where we had a pantry, but they were just too heavy for anyone to handle. So anyway, the kitchen, there used to be one little bitty counter here. It was about 16 inches wide, and then a stove, and then another 16-inch counter here. And then there was a doorway, a sliding door that went into the dining room. And then originally there was nothing here. It was just a wall. And so anyway, all of that's gone. You can see that I built these upper cabinets. They didn't get stained. Kathy liked them in the natural color. So what I have is cabinet plywood, 3/4 inch, that I built the boxes with, and then fronted it with poplar that I cut down out of 1x4 poplar. And you can see that I made these plate racks for her. And oddly enough, I put both this cabinet and this cabinet in backwards. And so this particular piece right here, this piece I put in backwards. So you can see right here it says right. So this is the right cabinet, and that one was supposed to have been on the right end, but I reversed them. So anyway, same deal here. This one went in upside down. So now at some point I'm going to come back with veneer and cover these two. Then I made this cabinet up here that holds up the microwave and installed the microwave. So I've got electricity that I ran up here for the microwave, and then electricity down here along the countertop, and ran separate electricity and water. Now there was no water here. This side of the kitchen was the dining room. This was a solid brick wall. So that was one of the first things we did, was we opened it up and installed this window. I had to build this whole thing out here, and then I built a header up here to inside the wall. You can't see it, of course, to hold up that portion of the upstairs. And so yeah, there used to also be a drop down here. This opening into the other room was much smaller, so we got rid of all of that, and now the ceiling. Installed all these lights, installed the ceiling fans. So everything you see here, this room was totally gutted. So everything you see here, we did. Got these cabinets and built the island. They are attached into the concrete and ran electricity here and on the other end as well. And we've also got electricity here on the column. You can see that. And then again, this is the travertine countertop. And my brother-in-law, Buddy, suggested, because we were talking, they were going to charge us like $250 to do the bullnosing on the tile. He said, just put you some wood edging. So that's what I did. This is roughly 1x2 poplar. And then I got the Craig jig and drilled this hole at each corner. And I had to actually glue 3 pieces of poplar together to cut these rounded corners out. There you go. These rounded corners, I had to cut those out of 3 pieces of poplar. I've got 3 pieces of poplar glued together, and then it's all glued and screwed into the countertop. Same deal over here. You can see I haven't gotten the 1/4-inch dowels cut and put into these little holes yet, but I do at least have the lines grouted or caulked. So this sink, there was originally a sink here, and we weren't going to come back with one, but I said, why throw away all this plumbing? So that's there. And then we have these are just little stick-up lights that have, I think the battery in this thing is dead because they don't come on right now. But they're nice little night lights. Got electricity over here that I ran. And then there's a switch here for electricity that is way up above back there. I don't know if you can see it, but I've got electricity back there. I just haven't done anything with it yet. Built this one for her bookshelf. So we've got a 4-foot wide bookshelf there, and then this little cabinet up here that really isn't doing too much right now. Okay, so now let me tell you about the pantry. In this room, we really haven't done too much. I did do one thing. There is I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't see it. I'll show you over here. Oh, well, we may not be able to see it over here. What I did was, in order to avoid having to run speaker wires along the floor and all around and everything, I put this little guy in. I don't know if you can see it right there. It's just a speaker hookup panel, and then I ran the wires through the wall and across the ceiling over to the other side there, and then they come down, and there's another one of those panels back behind the curio cabinet there. So it was really an expensive proposition, and really the only thing that I've gotten out of it so far is that from the home theater system, I did run wires along the floor here, and then they hook to that, and then they come across, and this one speaker is hooked up to it right now. But if I did have to have a speaker back in this corner, in other words, if the TV, instead of being in the corner, were more centered in the room, and I needed a speaker over here, then I would be able to utilize that. So that's something we did. Okay, now this right here, this is now a pantry. I'll give you a quick look at it, and then I'm going to go someplace else because there are other voices that we don't need to hear. You can see I've got shelves in here. This is roughly a 5-foot opening, and it used to be a water heater closet. And this back here, from this point on, everything to the left here, this only is an addition. And so that pantry that you just saw used to be a water heater closet, and it faced outside, and it just had a 36-inch door. So I took out that entire wall, put in a 4x4 support beam across the top, and then paneled it, made sure that the flooring was all done properly, and put in wire shelving. And so it's a really good little pantry space for us. We have so much stuff, and we believe in stocking up, so we don't really have enough room for all the stuff, but that's another story altogether. So anyway, that's the downstairs. And once we get everything cleaned up upstairs, I'll show you that. And then we've got some outside stuff that I'll show you also.